Many families today are looking for new school options that reflect their values and help their children thrive. Jefferson Classical Academy of Ohio is a new virtual tuition-free K-8 public charter school offering a classical education. It's a model that combines strong academics with character development and critical thinking. And joining us today to tell us more is Ron Packard. He is CEO and founder of Excel Schools. And Ron, thanks for being here today.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
So tell folks a little bit about this new educational opportunity.
So yes, thank you. So the Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy is a statewide online school. It'll be the first statewide online school offering classical education in Ohio. And we're very excited about it because it's free to families. Anybody who's a resident of Ohio can enroll. And it really is offering an amazing education where students are trained how to think as opposed to what to think. It's rooted in the classics, so virtues will be built into the school day, into the reading selections. You'll read a lot more about the founding fathers, a lot more about the great philosophers. So I always say it's the way John Adams educated John Quincy Adams, which worked out pretty well for him.
Maybe folks have heard that phrase before, a classical education. For those who might be unfamiliar, what does that entail?
So it really is the education you've seen at a lot of the elite boarding schools. Thomas Jefferson believed you had to be well educated and be educated and had to be a good citizen, right? So we don't shy away from that. It means that kids will get exposed to Plato, Socrates, much more than they would in a normal school. It means that a lot of it is worked on communication skills. So you'll see a Socratic method of instruction in a lot of classes where you're trying to teach the students the reason, which I believe is more important now. How many times do we see something, is that AI or not, right? Is that fake news or not, right? So really teaching children to think is so critical today as opposed to just what to think, right? We want them to question things and what's right and wrong, and why is that right and wrong, right? And so I think it really does develop a much deeper sense of inquiry.
Well, I know that the school is virtual and it's tuition free too, which is pretty incredible. What does the typical student day look like?
So student day will be, you'll be online. So you might have a session with all the kids, like a welcome session almost, or a start your day session. And then you'll have, things that are asynchronous. You might be reading, Plato, or you might be reading Shakespeare. And then you'll have a lot of small group instruction with teachers. So it's online, allows you to be even more individualized. So we can do more sessions, smaller group. And so it's a combination of these online sessions with asynchronous content.
Now, I know you worked with Dr. William Bennett when it came to developing this school. What does he bring to the school, and how did that partnership come about?
So I've known Bill Bennett for a long time, and he's really been, I think, the intellectual voice of the conservative movement for a long time. But he's written, two books that I think are very relevant to what we're doing here. One is The Educated Child, where he laid out what an education should be. And then he wrote the Book of Virtues. So we actually use stories from the Book of Virtues in the reading selections for K-5. Because again, we gotta give students a moral compass, right? So what Bill outlined years ago in those two books really becomes the basis of an excellent classical education.
And it seems like it's really about, at its core, teaching these kids to think for themselves.
That's exactly what it is. And if you go back to the real foundations of classical education, they call it the trivium, which is basically knowledge. So you have to have a lot of knowledge, right? Then you teach logic and reasoning. And then the last part is rhetoric, which is communication skills. So you think that's what you need, a large knowledge base, the ability to reason logically and think for yourself. And then you communicate and express that. And I believe in a world where AI is getting more powerful, those skills are more relevant than ever.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm sure someone watching this would love to learn more or to possibly enroll. Where can they go to get more information?
The best thing to do is just go to the website. It's ohio.jeffersonclassicalacademy.com. Go there, call, text the chat, and we'd love people to take a look because I think this is very different than what's currently available. And I think it's a very attractive option for families that want that type of education. They want children to think for themselves. They want their children to learn virtues and character.